Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and Bulldogs everywhere, and welcome back to another issue of the Butler Sports Report presented by the Butler Collegian. I'm Jake Bedell.
I'm Jack Jankowski.
It's the week of Halloween. We're back from our fall break, and we're looking forward to giving you some inside information as to the events that happened over the course of the last week and looking into what's going to happen as we enter the end of the fall sports season. Jack, we've seen a lot of action. What can you tell us?
Absolutely. Well, let's start off with Butler basketball. They won their first exhibition game against Tiffin, 100-63. The Bulldogs were 55% from the field shooting. Kamar Baldwin, 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. We'll probably be hearing his name a lot and calling his name a lot through this season. Sean McDermott, he continued his sharpshooting ways, 3 for 4 from three-point range en route to 14 points. And when you're playing a bad team, you need to capitalize on turnovers, and the Bulldogs did just that, scoring 24 points on 18 Tiffin turnovers for the big win.
Yeah, they're going to be looking to continue this success in an exhibition matchup against Southern Indiana on Saturday. I think something that's important to take away from these games is definitely ironing out, the different kinks that you see before the regular season, and that's the purpose of these exhibition games, is to figure out the different tendencies and what you can improve on before, and in terms of mistakes before you get to the regular season where it's starting to count against you. One of the things that I think that we're going to hear a lot of, as you mentioned, is Kamar Baldwin over the course of the season. He's going to be filling that role in the absence of our Keelan Martin after he left this past year. And I think something that might surprise some people is the use of Joey Brunk this year. I think he's a big man that people haven't seen much of in the course of the last few years, but he's going to be getting a lot more playing time this year, and they're going to be using him to get inside the paint and get some quick buckets under the net.
Yeah, and Brunk had 8 rebounds and 11 points in today's game, so certainly good signs ahead for him and his usage for the basketball team. Going on to football, they had a less desirable result, losing to Dayton 38-28. That drops the Butler Bulldogs football team to 3-5 on the year. The Bulldogs had some trouble defending the run as they allowed 222 rushing yards to Tucker Yinger, but they also succeeded offensively on the run with Brad Snyder picking up 113 yards on only 12 carries. So some positives on the offensive side of the ball, some negatives on the defense. How do they rebound?
Well, they're going to be taking a trip south to Florida to play Jacksonville this upcoming Saturday. Butler is on this 4-game skid, and I don't think it's some people expected it to happen. It's not the same team that we saw necessarily at the beginning of the year where they started off 3-1, which was very impressive. Unfortunately, they have hit kind of a rough spot here, but they're going to look to rebound. Jacksonville does struggle in terms of pass efficiency, which will open up some opportunities for the Butler defense to potentially come up with some takeaways, interceptions, and potentially fumble recoveries. On terms of the offensive side of the ball, the Dogs are going to need to take care of it as Jacksonville does have an effective defense against the pass. So if they're able to overcome those obstacles, they should be able to see some success against the 1-6 Jacksonville Dolphins this upcoming Saturday.
Moving on to women's soccer, they were seeded second in the Big East tournament as they finished second overall in the conference. And some end-of-season award news for the Bulldogs as Anja Savic was named Big East Freshman of the Year. She was one of 6 Butler Bulldogs to earn awards for the Big East. That included Paige Monahan and Annika Smith getting first-team honors. Good week for the Bulldogs as they had to play Providence in the second round of the Big East tournament.
Yeah, that matchup's going to be taking place here at the Selleck Bowl on on Thursday. The Dogs have all the tools in order to win this game, I think. They have the offense ability to put goals in the back of the net, on defense to prevent those goals from happening, and the goalies to come out and make big plays when they need to. The only thing that I could foresee hurting them in this matchup is fouls. In the regular season, they had a matchup against Providence where they won 1-0, but in that game they committed 14 fouls. They lost to St. John's in the regular season 2-1, and in that game they committed 15 fouls. So if they're able to minimize those chances, which I understand fouls occur from time to time, but if they're able to minimize that, it prevents scoring chances against them and it allows them to play more offensively. I think if they're able to do that, they're going to be able to find their way into the Big East Finals.
Absolutely. What else we got going on around campus this week?
Well, men's soccer is going to play away at Xavier on Wednesday, and then on Saturday they were going to play the quarterfinals of the Big East tournament. Their opponent for that game is yet to be determined. Women's basketball is going to look forward to their opening exhibition match against Trine University. That's going to take place on Thursday. Men's tennis is going to head to Ohio to take part in Cleveland State's invitational called the Viking Invitational. That will take place from Friday all the way through Sunday, so a 3-day tournament there. And then volleyball is going to head to Cincinnati also to play against Xavier. Last time they met, the Dogs fell up short in 3-1 and were unfortunately lost that game at home. But that's all we got on the plate for this week.
Excellent. Well, that's it for this episode of the Butler Sports Report presented by the Butler Collegian. I'm Jack Jankowski.
I'm Jake Bedell.
Join us next week for more highlights and recaps and previews of the action coming from Butler Sports.